we're in the house that caught fire, right? So we're trying to solve so many problems, but if you see there's a bigger problem, then everyone come together. Like the Kauravas, Pandavas, they were fighting. But if somebody external force come, they are together, 105 brothers. It's like this. So we are too many fights, family fights, nation fight, this fight, that fight. But if we can see this bigger real problem on everyone's head, really we will come out of all these silly fights and join together to really handle the bigger problem. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Birth, death, old age, disease. These are the real problems that everyone has to get. And there are, again, in between there are so many miseries, that miseries from the body and mind, miseries from other living entities, miseries from the natural calamities, adhyatmik, adi daivik, adi bhautik type of miseries. So our situation is like a person hanging upside down on a root of a banyan tree. Down the hill, well is a big alligator ready to eat us up when we fall down. Above the well is actually these wild animals waiting for us. And there's a black and white rats biting this root. So we went into detail. So this is our situation really, because we caught up in this samsara of the well with the lifespan of that root that we are hanging to. The black and white rats really represent the day and night. Right? Every day and night pass, we are coming close to that. And there are 3 modes of nature controlling us. We are always controlled by 3 modes, which we had a detailed session, how we are controlled by 3 modes. So in this situation, we are actually trying to lick the honey that is falling from the tree, hanging upside down. In spite of this, honey bee is biting us. Right? So what is this honey? The children, the games are the honey, the youth is boyfriend, girlfriend, and and we grow up, our children is honey for us, and different social and different intellectual positions that we acquire. Right? This is really the topic we discussed last week, right? Last 2 weeks. So now we are evolving slowly. We started with basic. So we're trying to understand our situation, the bigger problem and our problem. And this actually is a story given by Vidura to his brother Dhritarashtra, because he was stuck in family, in the attachment. Even after his Kauravas died, he is not ready to really take this spiritual life serious. So now, today we want to talk about, before we anything, see, until we know the difference between the body and the soul, who we are, really all these things appears to be a little superficial, isn't it? So who are we? That is the real main focus that we will give next few weeks, who we are really. So anyone has a realization on who we are? Yes, we are. God is like see, there is a beginning for everything. So there is a source for everything, right? So there is a source for me, my parents. There is a source for them. Everything has a source. God is a person who is the source of everything. Anadir Adir, right? So science says, okay, let's assume there is nobody's. Let's assume everything came by chance. So is that a better understanding, or let's think everything came from a person? Which is more logical? Do we see in life anything ever that comes from nothing, or that comes by chance? No, right? So it's like if you go to a seashore and you see a watch falling there, and my kid asks, "Daddy, how did this watch came?" I said, "Oh, the waves are coming and going. They made this watch." So it's like that is how the scientists explain this cosmos. So much order and harmony came because there is just by chance. It's not logical at all. Probably your PhD, maybe you can add few points, but we don't have too much time today. So this is a point. So there is, everything came from this person. He's a source and he's a person. It's not an energy. People think, oh, God is energy. Yes, energy comes from energetic. Where does energy come from? Right? They say God is nature. Yes, nature is God's nature. See, I have a nature and he has a nature. So this is external nature. material nature is God's energy also, which is where we are sent, because we were supposed to be, we are actually the marginal energy of the God. We are parts and parcels of Him. He expanded so that for His own enjoyment. Just like I have two daughters, right? So they give me pleasure. Temporary, right? When they grow up, I don't know what happens. But right now, right? There's a lot of pleasure seeking. Every one of us who are parents. So so we are supposed to be the pleasure-giving living entities to God in the spiritual world. So this pleasure in the spiritual world comes by serving God, and we get relished because we have so much love, we have understanding, right? But sometimes a true love means the love that doesn't have force. If you force someone with gun, that's not a true love. Even the material world, real parents wouldn't force their children too much. A real king wouldn't force. Similarly, how do we expect God to force anyone? So although we are His children in the spiritual world, He would never force anyone, because then the definition of God is lost. We have our tiny freedom always. So using that freedom, we wanted to imitate like God. Let me see how it is to be like God. Let me be in the center. So we were sent here. This place, material world, is an opportunity to act or try it out like God. That's what is really happening in the material world. Everyone is trying to imitate God. Everyone is trying to be the supreme well-wisher of everyone. He wants to be supreme enjoyer. He wants to be supreme controller. Isn't this? Everyone is trying to be at least the president or prime minister or the family life. You see, the father thinks he's the controller. He works hard in, Citibank or whatever, gets money. The wife thinks I'm the controller. She keeps everything in place. The kids really think they are the controller because they're really controlling the parents. Right? In whatever way, everyone is thinking that he is actually. So this material world is actually like a hospital or a jail or a school that can teach everyone that real peace, happiness comes by surrendering to God. Go back to senses, understand the source of everything. This is theory, but there are a lot of details, there are a lot of proofs. So this is the summary, right? And then keeping this summary in mind, then we can study various other topics, like now today's topic is reincarnation, the facts of reincarnation. And next few weeks we will discuss about the soul, the science of soul, the science of body. And then we understand more qualities about God. What is the relationship with me and God? And why there are many religions. So all are we the mind? Are we the intelligence? So what is body? Right? So if you look at the body, what is body made of? Yeah, I mean, we all know, we studied science. Cells. Very nice. Real good answer. So what are the cells made of? Sorry? Right. So what are they made of? Atoms. So we can further break down, right, this protons, neutron, electron, different things, right? So this is the material world. So really the body or the mic or the plate or everything, right? Everything in this material world is made of these atoms. So this is all just a transformation of atoms that we are seeing. So some scientists try to make us believe that we are simply these atoms. At one point in the combination of these atoms, there is something called life that formed, which they want us to imagine that way, assume that way. So we can question them. They can prove it to us, they can show it to us, but right? Kind of we have to believe that. So is it logical that this combination of atoms can ever form life? So no, right? Yes or no? There are chances. Right. Okay, so there is really, actually, in fact, my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami, he is a PhD in uh, chemistry. So he is disciple of Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. He went to a major conference where all the scientists from the world, they were talking about how to make bigger chemical molecules from the smaller ones, so that they can combine them and make life. Something that's the goal. So he said, yes, it's good that we are struggling to make bigger ones from smaller, but what about we try to take all these readily available molecules that are available in human body and try to combine and make life. So let's do a top down approach. Instead of going and take small ones, combine, take the bigger ones, try different combinations. Can we make life? So they said, no, that we are not sure. Then why are we even talking about the smaller ones and all this? Right? So anyway, we are trying to imitate God, so we want to be creators. We want to be competitors for God. Even the
The human genome code they cracked in 2000, right?
uh-huh.
Up till now, what have they achieved from that? It was a real big deal then, but have they
Yeah.
really achieved? I don't know what was that all about.
They made so far animals, right? Sheep, they got it.
Yeah, but that was before the
So
human genome.
they're manipulating. They're not creating anything.
Yeah.
They just take everything and just manipulate it.
We hear about one body, but so many folies are there.
Right.
We are missing that body part.
Fully. Right. Right. So really, if we try to analytically study, we are just atoms and combination. The combination doesn't. Even this great scientist who really believe and got PhDs in this such theories, they don't believe also. Isn't it funny? If they truly believe, like we are just chemicals, will they not cry if someone in their family die? Will they think, oh, chemicals are gone? What's the problem? Right? So there is so much of emotion, love, and relationships that we can never get through the matter. So yes, so animals, correct. So the animals also. So what is the life difference between life and matter? Huh? Breathing. Yeah. So there is something that is making us breathe. What is that? Animals have life also. The real point is here. They are saying the life comes from the combination of atoms. They say that means they're saying life comes from matter. In other words, matter. So there is a lot of discussions between my Guruji and Prabhupada every day morning, and that was recorded, and they made a small book. Life comes from life. Beautiful discussions, and my Guruji is trying to argue with Prabhupada, like he's representing scientist, and Prabhupada is defeating, like without any, like Krishna Arjuna. He asks a question from scientific, he just defeats him. So like this, very interesting. Sometimes you may feel little Prabhupada is little heavy on the scientist, but that is his mercy on the scientist. It is out of compassion. So, so in that, they're discussing life comes from life, and matter also comes from life. We have the evidence. Very simple experiment. The nails come from, when there is life, the matter grows. The hair and the nails and so many byproducts we're creating. So what is really? So the life comes from life. So God is the original life from whom all the other lives came from. Lives are not really. We can never. It can never evolve from matter, right? So this is thus. So let's now connect to the real topic of this life. What is this life? Is it just evolved this in this life? Is it the first time I'm living? Or did I ever live before? What do you all think? We had life earlier. Chandu Prabhu is very confident. Thank you. I'm sure you're all confident, right? Anyone is not confident? So why? Why, what makes us believe strongly that yes, we lived before? You're not confident. Thank you. That sincerity is there in you. Right? So we really don't know whether we lived before or not. Is it the first time that suddenly a egg and whatever, material combination we evolved, or we don't know really. Right? Natva eham jatu nasham natva nime janadipaha na chaiva na bhavishyamaha. So Krishna says that not this kingsman, nor you, nor me, everyone is always existing. There's never at the time that where they did not exist or I did not exist. So anyway, we'll go to that point. And then Krishna says, so now we are coming to the topic, reincarnation. So it's not the first time we incarnated. So we have this question mark. Am I reincarnating or I just incarnated, right? So reincarnation, before we go to the real topic of reincarnation that everyone thinks about, let me ask you, there is something called internal reincarnation. Any guess what it could be? What is an internal reincarnation? Internal. In the sense, dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuhyati. What does that mean? Dehinosmin yata dehe. Mataji, you want to say, elaborate? Say the meaning. Yata dehe. Kaumaram. When we are kaumaram, and then we become yavanam, and then we become old. Right? Internally we are reincarnating, isn't it? Just like, in the movie videos, how does the movie is made? It's made of so many pictures. It's going so fast, so it will make us appear that it is moving. It goes like 15 pictures per second. Similarly, it's going on in our body so fast. So it makes us, right? But if you take your picture 5 years back, sometimes old people, they look at their marriage pictures. Oh, look how beautiful I was. Right? So, right? What does that mean? So we change. We already reincarnated. So this is simple. Krishna is saying reincarnation internally already happened. Dehinosmin yata kaumaram yavanam jara. So from boyhood to youth to old age, we already reincarnated. Tata, then after that, dehantara prapti. Then when this body becomes useless, anything in this material world is made of atoms, so anything made of atoms has to deteriorate. There should be an end for it, because it's all temporary. That is how this material world is designed. So because everything is temporary, anything that is from this material world has to end. Even God cannot help it. Because that's how He's designed it. If you want really permanent, it's not the place, first of all. Right? So now comes the point. So what will happen after this body ends? Tata dehantar prapti dhira. Then there is an external reincarnation. So you go to the next body. Right? So that's a real question. Next week's question. What is body? What is going from one body to other? Soul and what else? Desires, yes, karma. With soul, the soul is actually soul means it's not something foreign. It's something not vague, and It's not something very magical. Yes, it is. It soul is made of spiritual energy of God. Matter material world is made of material energy of God, external energy of God. The soul also has a form. Soul has senses, spiritual senses. Soul has a mind, spiritual mind. Soul has intelligence. Soul has all these things. Soul is a person actually. Soul means people have different. Oh, soul is not something light. Soul is a person. Soul has a form, hands, legs, everything, right? Just like so. But before coming to the material world, it was imprisoned in this. It can be imprisoned in this 84 lakh different types of prisons or vehicles through which we can try to imitate God. So that is really the form. That is really is our position here. We are there. We are a living person inside this dead matter. So the effulgence of the soul, the love of the soul, this is coming out on the body. Every soul is unique. That's why God loves every person. No two people are same. No one can replace the enjoyment that God gets when we go back to spiritual world. So that's why he's hankering for us. There is no beginning, no end. So it came with the supreme creator or the supreme source. With the supreme source came, just like God, it doesn't come when he comes to the material world alone, right? Before he comes, or when he is coming, he brings his associates. Alone you cannot enjoy. Let's say the world ends and I'm the only person living in Tampa. Nobody in America, nobody in the world. Would I enjoy? I'd be crying, sitting. It's a miserable situation. Why would God exist alone? So, for God, is not material, he's spiritual. For him to enjoy, there should be another spiritual element to enjoy. So, can I enjoy with lifelong with some ducks and deers? No, right? So, I need a equal partner. So, that is why we existed from the beginning. Sampat Prabhu Krishna. Does it make sense? So now we are evolving to the topic of reincarnation, because we already saw that we reincarnated internally and we can reincarnate externally. Okay? There is another verse from Bhagavad Gita which you all can repeat. Krishna says, very beautiful example, simple example, with so much of love on us, because he wants us to go back. Nobody else can replace us in the spiritual world for him. Vishnu, Krishna. So he's saying, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. Whoever knows can repeat. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. Nava grihnati naroparani. Tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Vasamsi is like cloth. Jirnani is like how the cloth is torn. When the cloth becomes too old and just here torn, what do? We change it. Similarly, when the body is too worn out, he is so merciful, he doesn't want it to suffer like this with the old body. So he is so kind. And already by the time we became old, too many attachments. Oh, my grandchildren, what are they doing? Oh, my son, crazy fellow, what is he doing? Right? Oh, my daughter, this poor lady. Oh, my wife, doctor, appoint. All these problems. There is no time to remember God. So he is trying to help us. Oh, my dear child, enough. You made all these temporary relationships to be permanent. It's too much. You have no hope. Let me give you a new chance. Just like a computer becomes too hot and very unresponsive, what do? Restart. Before you replace. Right? Restart. So, in fact, yes, we can think like that. Restart is like a day and night. Really. If there is no day and night, we go crazy. We live only 10 years or 5 years maximum. Or even 5 days probably. Or 5 months. Right? If nobody sleeps and everyone is going crazy. Right? This restart, day and night is actually God's restart on our mind. It's making us to sleep enough of doing this. So when we get up fresh. It's like a restart. So replacing is like the new body. Yes, good analogy. So this is how we are actually. It's a mercy of God. Reincarnation means. So yesterday's article was also telling us, if you all read, some of you, how after going through so many reincarnations, we'll have so many mental impressions on the mind that we don't commit the mistakes that we did in the past. Just like we learn to read, right? When you do some small mistake, the kids quickly they learn in this life also. They touch some hot object, they will not never touch it again. So like this. So this reincarnation is a mercy of the Lord that is helping us to achieve one by one, step by step, love for Him, realization for Him. So the problem is people think it's a myth. So we need some facts. So in few minutes, Swayam Prabhu is going to tell some nice examples, his realizations. But before that, I would like to say that the scientist, there are some scientists, Einstein, Stevenson, different scientists who are actually researched on this topic, and they presented that the proof, really simple proofs, are that three things, right? One is, actually there are many cases, 3,000, 4,000, Einstein, Stevenson, there are many scientists, you can yourself research. So these scientists are funded by the government. There are many cases that they hear and they go and analyze whether it's really true or a made up story. They need certain number of evidences to authorize this is the real fact. Or sometimes they themselves try to, research on people, whether if somebody is struggling to recollect, they try to do. So these people, they try to present some papers. When they present, they say that three things, right? Number one, how, like small children, they have certain skills which they had never inherited or they were never trained from. How are these skills coming? Some unique skills on children. They are there. Okay? Very simple observation. Number two is that when doctors, scientists analyze, try to understand, try to treat some phobias that people have, they're trying to, they made conclusions that phobias are really nothing but some impressions coming from previous experiences on children. They're so strong, when we change the body along with the soul, the mind also, the material mind intelligence goes with the soul. So these phobias go, because we had a horrible death in water. So we have a fear to swim in water. Even in knee-deep water, we're shivering. Phobia of height, phobia of different things. So this is one aspect.
Do you think this is because of the previous generation? What previous births
That is what the scientists are.
carried forward?
Yes, because with the soul also goes the mind. So we are conditioned. You see? I give one example generally is that this we have attraction, because we have eyes, we have attraction for opposite sex or different things, right? But even the blind and deaf and dumb people, they have the attraction. So where is this coming from? They have equal and same attraction that we have. So they have certain experiences. In this life they are like this, but this is not the first time they have strong forces. So third thing they are saying is, if you say everything is of a matter and these are inheritance, genes and this and that, they're saying look at the twins. They're coming from same womb, same egg. Two people are sharing the same egg, born in the same family, go to the same school. They did the same thing, but yet they have different qualities. So nobody can explain. They do look alike, they smile alike, so they do but they can never behave alike. So these scientists are not able to explain. So what are the three things that scientists give evidence that there is reincarnation? First thing is, right, certain kids, certain people have certain skills right from their birth that they have never trained for, that they never inherited, that their ancestors, nobody has these skills, but they have these skills. So how do we explain? No science can explain this except the science of reincarnation. So this is one thing which scientists fail to explain. How can certain people acquire certain so the evolution we discussed, that's a huge topic again. But their point is, yes, even if Darwin was true, right? He says we evolved monkeys and all these things. Um, but you are born to a parent, so this evolution theory will fail right there, because if you are evolving from your parents, you naturally have to acquire certain qualities that your parents has. Certain, but it's 99% it is different, right? Maybe few cases are like that. They have the features, but their capabilities, their skills, there are many exceptions. But the scientists, like Einstein Stevenson, he did many researches on past life uh, regressions, and so their conclusion, they on their paper, this is what they say. But yes, maybe 50-50. But and they also say, how does this phobias? They have no explanation on why phobias come, right? And there are evidences. If you'll see their past life stories, certain people, uh, they have this because they left the body in certain horrible way. So when they come to the next life, they have the same phobia, right? So like that. So these are the three things. Okay. So you have any examples um, of how of to say that reincarnation cannot be true? The scientists are presenting this in a very simple logical way. Before we go to Shastra, scientists are saying that these few things like this we can never explain from us in a scientific manner. Certain, right? There are, you see so many news article comes. Some certain kids are born very exceptional, right? Certain kids are really, I don't know. Anyone remembers any of such thing incidents?
There are some good, they know mathematical so fast.
Uh,
Even they are faster than computer
first,
calculators.
hmm,
Or sometime like I've heard a 7 years of age guy,
hmm,
kid,
hmm.
used to play drums so nice that he can challenge.
Oh, by the way, I remember one video my daughter was seeing. A small kid,
He play drums so good.
the classical music. You play something, she will tell right there. She defeats this. You just play any instrument, she will say what the notes are, what raga is. She's so young. She's from Andhra. Yeah, yeah. Srinidhi? Yes, you know her personally. See, like there are so many thousands of examples like this. And the phobias. The phobias are also there's so many examples. And we know personally the twins, they look alike, the same, they born in the same family, same mother, but they are different when they grow up. So it really comes from the qualities are different. Similarly, there are also many evidences on the past life memories cases. These scientists, they were funded by government of America, so they wouldn't waste money like this. So they present certain cases. Like I remember one case. Her name was Shukla or something. Shukla Gupta. She was young child, and she says about a village. Oh, take me there, take me there. You know the story? You want to say? Remember, right? So she insisted. She's so adamant that finally her parents took to that village. So she started running down from the bus, as if she's I know the whole village here. And she went. She saw this elderly man in the house. He was a little shy, and she says, "This is my father-in-law." And she was a little confused that the door is blocked. There was supposed to be a door, but the door is not there anymore. Huh? But anyway, this guy took from the different side, and she recognized each and every person in the house by their names and by their nicknames. And she remembered her previous uh, previous life, her name, and she recognized her husband. All these things. There are many stories like they're called miracle kids. In even in America, there are like last year I saw an article where one boy, he remembers his past life and tells us the names and places. So he has two parents, so they come live together. Right?
Actually, there is a video in YouTube.
Okay.
There is an experiment done on 4 ladies,
Uh-huh.
Australia, I guess. So they exactly tell which site to take in France, which they have never been to in this life.
This happens in past life regression also. Sometimes we have a vague memories. So there are some techniques where they take us to regression, and in that test itself, you start speaking certain languages which we never heard of. Very fluently, you start speaking French language. You see? Can you imagine that?
Scientist Dr. Weiss, WEISS.
Doctor?
He
Uh-huh.
has, he has done a lot of research on past life hypnosis as well as reincarnation.
Okay. So hypnosis. Regression is almost like a hypnosis, right? So there is something called near-death experiences. There's so much of doctors have these evidences, right? When some people, they're almost dead and somehow they survived. They share so many realizations when they come to life. You know, that they travel there. There's something called out-of-body experiences. They could see going above the body, they can see themselves. They don't know whether they're going to enter the body or not. I see. I see. Right. So I'll conclude here and I'll ask Swayam Sampurna Krishna Prabhu. He's very knowledgeable in the scriptures, to share certain examples from scriptures so we understand. Because these stories are coming, there are many stories in all over. It's hard to understand, right? For example, from the scriptures we know Gajendra is the elephant. So in these stories, they talk about human beings remembering their past life. Certain villagers think, oh, this reincarnation happens to certain people. Not everyone. It's not that case. Everyone reincarnates. Like we discussed, we are internally reincarnating from boyhood to youth to old age. And externally also we are reincarnating. So like Gajendra. So he remembers, even in the elephant life, he remembers the prayers from previous life, certain things. Yeah, so please share
Can I ask
few.
you a question, please?
Yes, please.
So, what is the advantage of a previous life to know about it? Because once I went to a
You
new
didn't
age.
read the article. That's why I put the article.
Yeah, I know. I missed it. But what it is I went to a new age.
There's an advantage of forgetting our past in this whole life, right? So we written certain, remember, although we want to forget, there are certain memories that really comes back and puts us down. Some people, they don't even want us to remember. They change location so they don't want to remember. So it's the mercy of the Lord that He helps us forget certain things. You know, it is just, the whole thing is designed that way. So we only, it's a spiritual, it's the evolution of the soul, right? So, yeah, but to have, these exceptions are actually helping us to have faith in reincarnation. That yes, you'll reincarnation, right? What if you remember your past life and you remember your past wife or whatever? You may be a different person in last life, right? So you'll be a little confused to do your duty properly.
Because me and Dipali went to India.
Okay.
And she said, now is payback time for you.
Okay.
So
Right.
we already had this.
So you know that.
We know that.
Okay.
So I know that for sure.
Right.
But the thing is that, there's a relationship always, interplay always. But I'm saying that, is there an advantage?
Interestingly, Shastra says that some of the family relationships that we have are enemies in the past life.
Could be.
So if you know he's your enemy, remember whatever he did in the last life, he could be your own. So it's tricky.
So is it worth investigating past life?
No, it's not.
No,
It's
don't.
not.
Maybe there's something I can resolve like that guy in the cave.
Hare Krishna. So, Sambat Prabhu, you want to speak something? Okay. Okay. So, when we talk about reincarnation from the scriptural point of view, the first name which comes into everyone's mind is Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj is the person after whom actually India is being called Bharat. Before that, India's name was something else, and that it was called some other Dvipa. and no, Jambudvip is the area of this land, of this earth. That is called Jambudvip. I forgot the name. That's why I didn't say. So it was a portion of Jambudvip, and it was called by some other name, which was given as Bharat after the glorious rule of King Bharat. He was the younger son of Rishabhadev, and he got his kingdom. And as soon as he was very virtuous person, he was leading a nice life, but he was very God conscious. So at his prime youth itself, he left all his possessions, including his beautiful wife, not wives, and then children, the entire earth that was under him. He left everything and went to stay in a hut or a hermitage near Ganga to realize God. So what happened? Like, he had installed his son as a king of the entire planet Earth, and he has left everything and gone to this hermitage. He practiced penances. Daily he had ablutions in the Ganga. So such a person, as days passed, he was like nearing to God consciousness, and he was about to like achieve God consciousness. Means he was understanding who he was, what is his constitutional position, and he was really appreciating that spiritual knowledge. One day it happened, like when he was doing the Sandhya Arti, means evening ablutions, one deer who was pregnant came to drink water from Ganga. At the same time, a tiger pounced on the deer and killed the deer. But in this commotion, deer delivered a baby deer. So seeing this, like tiger has like dragged the deer's body away for eating, and now the only the child baby deer is there totaling him. Seeing this like sight, his heart was overwhelmed by mercy. He thought like, oh, the mother deer is gone. Now the tiger is there still. He can come back any time, and he will also attack this child. So what will happen to child? So I have to protect this. It's my duty to protect. And so he started taking care of the deer, started giving it milk every day, and started to like raise it like his own child. So again days passed away. Now what happened is like the attachment to the deer started to grow more and more deep. Every day, 3 times he was like thinking of deer only, instead of 3 times like Gayatri Mantra. So every time he was like, first thinking was like, even if before performing sacrifice, he will think, okay, is the deer taking care? Is the tiger here? Or that is the question. So it continued and continued. Then one day it happened that he was in deathbed itself. And in deathbed also, he was thinking like, who will take care of the deer? And will the tiger come again? So in that consciousness, he passed away. And as per Krishna's words in Bhagavad Gita, which says like, whatever form of being you think of, at the time of death, you will attain that form. Bharat Maharaj attained the form of deer itself in the next birth. But like Prabhuji said, some people can think about the past lives. They are called Jatismara. So he became a Jatismara by the mercy of Krishna, because he had an advantage. He was so pious and he was a so pure devotee of Krishna. So Krishna gave him this mercy that he could think of his past life, and he understood that the last minute mistake which he did, that he had an attachment to the deer, that was the reason for his fall down. So he did in this deer's body itself, he resolved one thing: I am not going to eat anything. He went back to his original heritage, which was near the Ganga, and stayed there, starved and died there. Then he next birth, he took the birth of a virtuous Brahmin's family, and he was the youngest son. And his oldest sons were like very intelligent, and they were like perfect learned Brahmins. But this guy, when he was born itself, he was again Jatismara by the mercy of Krishna. So he understood that by the what the contact of materialistic people or materialistic things, he was fallen down last life. So this time he wanted to put up his guards. So what he did, he didn't speak to anyone else. He pretended to be a dumb and deaf person. Even if like his father tried his best to teach him Vedas, Suktas, anything, but he acted as if he is dumb. So as long as his father was there, he was provided for everything. And this guy was pretending to be dumb and deaf, but he was really intelligent from within, because he was Bharat Maharaj itself. So because he acted like dumb and deaf, his name called to be like Jada Bharat. And then his father passed away, and now his brothers and mother like were ill-treating him because he is good for nothing. So one day they his duty was to guard the paddy fields during the night. One day while guarding the paddy fields, it happened like a group of dacoits came over there, and they abducted this guy. Because this guy, even if he's dumb and deaf, he was like hefty person. He was nice bodybuilt person. So he was abducted by these guys, dacoits. And these dacoits have were worshippers of Kali. They offered Kali the pujas and prayers and made him ready to be sacrificed to Kali. But as soon as the sacrifice was about to happen, Kali Mother came out of this deity itself and killed all these other dacoits. Because the reason being, Krishna is Kali's master, and Kali is the servant. So he is like, in front of the servant, they are going to kill a master's devotee, who is the Jadabharat. So this thing, and then Kali told him that you are now free, you can go away. So he then, at that time onwards, he started acting like a avaduda, means a mad person. He doesn't wear proper clothes. He doesn't stay in a place. He just roams here and there, that's it. While roaming like that, one Maharaj, his name was Raghugana, he wanted to go from one place to another place. So what happened? They just go in palanquins, and minimum there should be 4 carriers for the palanquins. Due to providence, what happened was like one of the palanquin carriers became sick, and there was no availability of another replacement. At that time, these king's men came across Jadabharat, who was like hefty person again. So they said, okay, this guy can pull up the palanquin. But and Jadabharat agreed. Jadabharat, he started carrying the palanquin, and he was walking in the front. So as soon as he sees some ants in the road, he makes sure that he doesn't step on the ants. So it will be like jumping here and there and here and there. So if you jump like that, the palanquin will also be like jumping. So the king got angry, and he asked like, "Hey fool, what are you doing? Can't you even carry a palanquin properly?" Then this Jadabharat, that is the first time he is speaking. He says that, whom you are addressing as fool, and who is carrying whom? We are all souls. No, if you are thinking that I am the body, you are also the body only. If you are thinking like that, our body is made of same things. So there is no difference in between. But if you are not thinking that we are the body, then I am not carrying anyone, and you are not being carried by anyone. So when the king heard this argument, then king understood, oh, this guy is a little serious guy. So he came down. And then
My shoulders are carrying you. My legs are carrying my shoulders, and earth is carrying my legs, and Archers is carrying earth.
yeah,
Who is carrying?
who? Yes.
He goes up to Archers.
Yeah.
That is like.
Yes. So by that time, king understood that this guy is not. So he comes and makes this guy as guru, and there's a lesson of instructions from this Jadabharat to Raghugana. So this is one very major story which is pointed out by Acharyas, and whoever refers Bhagavatam as the first proof of reincarnation. Second story which we can see is
What we will learn from that example. So we don't want people to think of imitate Jad Bharat or something.
okay.
So we can clarify that. Our
Okay.
essence.
Okay, the essence of this story, mainly what we have to understand is, right, first thing, there is reincarnation, first thing. Second thing, even if like we lead a very pious life, we have to be very much careful about the onslaught of Maya, because Maya can attack us in any shape. It can be in any our sons or daughters, wives, or maybe anything, animals, anything. So that's the best way, like we did in the beginning. Solution, yeah. Bhakti Yoga offers is like what we Prabhuji had mentioned initially. Like there is only way is like Hari's Nam, Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama iva kevalam, Kalau nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. That's why so much emphasis is given on chanting. Because by chanting, like if you see, like the difference between devotees and yogis or meditations, there are a lot of differences. One of the things are like even Vishwamitra, who was meditating, his mind was wavered by Menaka. But devotees' mind are never disturbed. Like even Maya Devi tried to disturb Haridas, and his mind was not wavered. That's the power of chanting. So if we do the chanting, our mind will be fixed on Krishna's name, and Antakaleja Mameva, Smaran Mukta Kalevaram, Ya Prayati Samadbhava, Yadi Nasti Asamsya. So according to that, at the time of death, we will think about Krishna and we will attain him. And Krishna says, one who thinks about me will come to my planet, and he will never ever come again in this material world. So this is what we have to think.
So, Prabhu, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So every action has an opposite and equal reaction, okay?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you're saying that the mantra has no reaction. Is that why it's good?
Okay. Every action has an equal and
But
opposite
that's
reaction.
why the problem is
Hmm.
everything we do
Yeah.
has going to have a reaction, no matter how slight you think it is or how good or whatever. So therefore, the only thing that doesn't have that
Reaction
is
is
the holy name.
holy
Is that
name.
what-
And no, there are 3 types of karma. We have discussed this, right? Akarma, sakarma, and vikarma. So our thing is like if we are devotees and we are in devotional service, we are doing akarma. So we are not doing duty for ourselves. For the pleasure of Krishna and Guru, we are doing these things. So it doesn't affect us. Just like a soldier in the battlefield. He is killing the same thing, which other people are also doing. But he is killing for the country. So it's akarma. And that's what, that akarma can be done simply by just chanting. So we will always be thinking. Yeah.
Work also. But if your consciousness is that I am working, so I can raise my family, be God conscious. I can use the money to maintain myself, to set a good example to others, and to serve God. So that's a karma. And you're working so that you take the money and you enjoy senses and you have a lot of passion, you want to be unique in the world and different things. So then you get some good or bad, right? So if you get good or bad, you have to come back and. But anything that we connect with God, spiritual, there's no. So our credit is always in the spiritual world. So you want to add something? Oh, there we go. Okay. So maybe we'll do like, as we are always coming back to conclusion, chanting, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then we can socialize if you have more time, or somebody wants to leave, we can leave. See, karma generally means, according to the context, you can call it, you can refer it as a reaction or an action, right? Right? Or good, generally good karma. Vikarma means bad karma. When you say I got karma, that means it generally refers means sukarma. Su is taken off. That means you got good karma. By doing some charity, by doing some different, taking care of nice family, also you got good karma, sukarma. But if you, simple definition is, if you follow the Vedic injunctions, if that means there is a, if you are a brahmachari, you have certain duties to do, right? Follow the parents, read nicely, be obedient. That's your duties. If you follow that, you get good karma. If you violate, bad karma. If you are a family man, you have to take care of wife, children, good karma. You neglect them, you get bad karma. So different duties. And if you are a vanaprastha, you shouldn't be too much attached to family. Let them have their freedom. let them learn the lessons. But you just guide. But too attached and you always fight, bad karma. Then you are a sannyasi, then you should be completely detached. Similarly, if we have qualities of a brahmana, samo, tapasamo, saucham, kshantiravimacha, jnanam, ajnanam, like all these nice qualities, peacefulness, tolerance, knowledge, simple living, then our duty is to make our life as an example to others. That's why brahmanas, they don't work for anyone. They just live by teaching, live by whatever they get in the olden days, right? So that's kind of, they're setting an example. Oh, why am I working too hard? Whereas this brahmana is just happily living and he's so peaceful. He has a grown-up belly, nicely. He's eating so much prasad. He sets an example. Don't get too much anxiety into these things. So I'm living. The brahmana generally represented by big tummy those days. So he's setting an example. He's not working, but he has the best tummy, out of everyone. So Kshatriya means he has too much passion. He wants to control. But with that privilege, you also get great responsibility of protect everyone. So you enjoy as a king, but don't protect. Gone case. Next time, we are like an animal or something. So somebody is like a Vaishya. Right? He has the skills to do business, trading. He knows where stuff is cheap and he can sell it where it's demand. So his duty is to be very truthful. Take minimum profit. Don't really like this capitalist, right? Ruin right? Nowadays the capitalists are actually controlling the whole society. Earlier the brahmanas are controlling the kshatriyas. So the kshatriyas rule according to brahmanas' direction. Right now what's happening is the Vaishyas are ruling the whole world because they are giving directions. They are actually controlling the whole governments. Correct? Right. Right. So this is actually good or bad, right? Certain duties we follow, good. We don't follow, bad. But good or bad, we have to come back. That is the problem. It's not like, okay, I did 50 good and 40 bad. My net is 10 plus. It's not like that. We have to enjoy 50 times and suffer 40 times. That's why it's, so this seed of soul, they have to come back. And then the vikarma is karma, that bad karma. Akarma is, that is something that we never get a reaction for. So like the prasadam we eat, right? If I am the primary enjoyer, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, okay, you want to be enjoyer, but you take the responsibility for killing the plants also. So we make God the enjoyer. So that's why every temple offers food. So he enjoys and there is no reaction for us. Simply by eating also we get sometimes bad karma. But the same process by offering prasadam, simply by eating we get akarma. So we are all attracted to nice music, right? That's why I think Apple first product is iPad. iPod. Huh? So much because people have this attachment to hearing. So that's why we employ these nice tools. So we can replace that attachment for hearing to holy names. In fact, the Vedas offer these ragas to glorify God. The dramas, the arts, and all these things are used to glorify God those days. So what else we are interested in? Dancing. Generally, people dance after so much of nowadays, right? They have to drink or whatever, right? So, but we dance when there's chanting of the holy name. In ISKCON temples, if you see, wherever there's chanting, they're always dancing. You go in the morning, they're dancing. Go in the afternoon, they're dancing. Go in the night, they're dancing. Right? So this is there. They have always eating, chanting, dancing, and taking care of the duty properly. So that is the greatest benediction that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. So in simple ways, Ravi, is that like we all know yoga, right? Yoga, generally nowadays people understand yoga to be like exercise or something. See, actually yoga means, the definition of yoga means to link our consciousness with God, actually. So to link ourselves with, to de-link from matter, to link with God, that's yoga. So this linking process can happen through karma, by work. By work, I'm working, but I'm engaging the results in the service of God. So through like that, you link your consciousness. By jnana, by studying, we get knowledge. and by dhyana, by meditation, or by bhakti. Bhakti is a simple, natural family life. You don't have to go to Himalayas, so just have a family life. But convert all matter into spiritual. Like normal food, we convert into prasadam, right? But before they talk about real sitting and meditation, right? There are 6 steps. First is yama, then niyama, then pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, asana, dhyana, and then samadhi, right? So first step is yama, niyama, do's and don'ts. So in first step itself, it will reject all most of the examples that you told. Before they even call it as a yoga or anything spiritual trance, these yama niyama are going to reject all the so-called people, right? But Lord Shiva is exception. Lord Shiva's followers are exception, because Lord Shiva, he came for a special purpose. He is the controller of mode of ignorance, and he's so compassionate that even so fallen demonic person, he wants to give his mercy. Otherwise, he may take millions of births to become a normal person, but because Lord Shiva is great, he wants to liberate him. Through whatever way he would like to approach Shiva, he'll accept. That's why he put all the ashes, sit in the smashana, wear a snake on the head, so that people in mode of ignorance are attracted to him. So ghosts and gobblers are his followers, actually. So that's how some of these people in India, they are authorized to worship Shiva in certain. Yeah, so I'm just trying to relate Ravi's question. But this yoga, so in this yoga's process, first and second step are, is going to tell us clearly. And Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, he said, "Oh my God, it's not for me." Krishna explained him, "You do this, go to a place where it's a secluded place, sit on a right certain position, certain these things, do's and don'ts." He said Arjuna was the greatest warrior in those, 5,000 years back. He was the best person on the earth. And he said, "My mind is so difficult to control my mind. I feel it's even easy to control the wind." So he is saying it's difficult. So for us, it's much more difficult. So in being that said, most of the trances that we, I think, see today is actually definitely in mode of ignorance, and definitely not sure whether they'll get any spiritual achievement from that. Maybe mental level, external, artificial peace, but spiritual progress, right? The hippies. Best. So thank you, Prabhu, for reminding. So Prabhupada, his whole thing is he turned the hippies into happies. The hippies were actually doing the same thing, right? How can I forget this example? So the hippies were exactly doing this. They were with drugs. They were with so many things. They rejected the whole family system, and but they were attracted to the chanting, and then they were completely transformed actually. And then he initiated them, and they were some of these first hippies who were transformed. They went to London, from New York straight to London to spread this movement. He just came one person, $7, and he just transformed them within. So they went to London. The Beatles were so famous, and whole world was behind Beatles. If you hear that, if they stay in one hotel, the hotel guys, the towel they use, they cut into 1,000 pieces, and he sell each piece for like $1,000 or something. They are so famous, the Beatles. So their albums were so famous. But these Beatles were attracted to this chanting of Swamiji's chanting. So it's like a miracle how they've transformed. So really, we're not sure. We have to discuss with many examples like this to really understand that aspect. So that lays a platform for spiritual. Exactly, right. Right. Exactly. Right. Right. Exactly. Right. And I'm trying to relate like this, right? Sensually serving senses, mentally serving family, intellectual serving society by giving a quality of art products. But we have a sense of responsibility, because we live in this world and we take free sunlight, free air, free water, right? But we have a responsibility to pay back. So, but we can't pay to every devata. There are 33 crores of devatas. So we identify who is the master of all these different devatas, who's arranging all this. So we have a sense of serving back, serving them. So that is actually spiritual happiness, because we are bound to do it. It says this yajna is actually like paying taxes to these people. So if we don't do that, then we have to suffer. There is no alternative. So please focus like 5 to 10 minutes. If you have to leave, that's okay. And then we can socialize more if you have to. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Mala Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Jaya Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitaya, Gauranitaya, Gauranitaya. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nameva Kevalam. Kalau nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. Thank you all very much. We conclude with this. But the real satsang happens after when we do socializing.